Ever notice that the harder you chase something, the more it slips away? What if letting go is the real secret to attracting everything you desire? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn will shift your entire approach to life. Welcome to Stoic Bridge, the bridge between ancient wisdom and modern life, guiding you through life's storms with calm and resilience. In a world that constantly pushes us to hustle harder, to control outcomes, and to race against time, it's easy to lose sight of what really brings success and peace. But what if the path to everything you want doesn't lie in force, but in flow? This video explores the Stoic art of manifesting your desires by letting go, trusting the process, and mastering your mindset. You'll learn why chasing results with desperation only creates resistance, and how shifting to a mindset of ease, purpose, and inner stillness can attract everything you've been working toward. We'll explore practical Stoic tools to help you detach from outcomes, act with intention, and move forward without anxiety. Here's what you'll discover in this video: why detachment from outcomes brings greater clarity and success, how mastering your thoughts, your only true domain, reshapes your reality, what it really means to trust in divine timing, and why patience is your greatest ally. The difference between acting with purpose and acting out of fear, why letting go of control can lead to unexpected breakthroughs, how to embody abundance before it arrives, and finally, the key to taking aligned action, then surrendering the results. You'll hear real-life stories that illustrate each principle, stories of people who let go, trusted the timing of their lives, and found that what they desired began to flow to them naturally, effortlessly. From career breakthroughs to personal transformation, each lesson is grounded in Stoic philosophy and designed to help you create a more peaceful, abundant, and focused life. So, if you're tired of overthinking, overworking, and still coming up short, this video is your turning point. Let go of stress, let go of control, let go of timelines, and watch how life begins to unfold in ways you never imagined. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful insights rooted in Stoicism and modern-day personal growth. Let this be your invitation to stop chasing and start aligning. Now let's dive in. Number 1, detach from the outcome. Let's pick up right where we left off, trusting the process and letting go of control. One of the most powerful shifts you can make in your approach to life is learning to detach from the outcome. It's easy to get fixated on the results, whether it's landing your dream job, reaching a personal milestone, or building the perfect relationship. We often convince ourselves that if we just focus hard enough, we can control the outcome. But here's the truth. The more you obsess over the results, the more resistance you create. When you place all your attention on the end goal, you create unnecessary pressure, which hinders your ability to take inspired, calm action. Real power comes from focusing on the process, on your actions, and on your mindset, not the outcome itself. So what happens when you detach from the outcome? You release the need for constant control and instead allow things to unfold naturally. When you're fixated on the results, you disconnect from the present moment. Every action you take should come from the belief that your effort is enough. The moment you start obsessing over the how and when, stress creeps in and resistance builds. Instead of being present and moving through life with ease, you live in a state of anxiety, constantly trying to control something that's beyond your influence. Here's the simple truth. When you detach from the outcome, you shift your focus to what you can control, your actions and your responses. And this is when life starts flowing with more ease, clarity, and confidence. This is where the wisdom of Stoic philosophy becomes invaluable. Epictetus once said, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens happens as it should, and you will be happy. Think about that for a moment. True happiness isn't about forcing life to unfold according to your exact specifications. It's about trusting that everything is happening in its own time, part of a bigger plan, and that what's meant for you will naturally come when the time is right. By letting go of your attachment to the outcome, you clear the mental clutter and create space to truly enjoy the process of life. Let me share a story to illustrate this. A friend of mine, let's call her Lily, was incredibly focused on achieving a specific career milestone. She worked tirelessly every day, but despite her best efforts, things weren't moving as quickly as she had hoped. She felt frustrated and drained, constantly wondering why things weren't happening faster. One day, a mentor told her, "Focus on doing your best every day and detach from the outcome. Trust that it will happen when it's meant to." Lily took that advice to heart. She stopped obsessing over the when and how, and instead focused on being the best version of herself every single day. Over time, opportunities began to align and things started to fall into place effortlessly. So how can you detach from the outcome in your own life? Here are a few steps to get you started. 1. Focus on your actions. Give your best effort without getting hung up on when or how the results will show up. 2. Let go of perfection. Trust that everything that happens is meant to happen in its own time. 3. Stay present. Don't get lost in the future. Trust the process and life's natural timing. At the end of the day, detaching from the outcome allows you to embrace the journey, focus on what you can control, and let go of the need for control over everything else. When you do this, you'll find that the results you've been seeking come naturally and effortlessly. Now that we've uncovered the importance of detaching from the outcome, let's take a deeper look at how to cultivate the patience and mindset required to truly trust the process. Stay tuned. Number 2, master your mindset. Continuing from where we left off, we've learned how detaching from the outcome can transform our approach to life. Now let's dive into another powerful shift you can make: mastering your mindset. The truth is simple yet profound. Your thoughts shape your reality. Every day we are overwhelmed by distractions, worries, and pressures from the outside world. But here's the most important part. The one thing you have full control over is your mindset. When you master your thoughts, you gain complete control over how you experience life. A calm, focused mind can effortlessly attract solutions, while a scattered, reactive mind can keep you trapped in frustration and confusion. Here's the reality. Having a positive, calm mindset doesn't mean ignoring the challenges you face. It means approaching them with clarity, purpose, and a sense of direction. Life won't always be easy, but how you respond to those challenges is what truly shapes your experience. When your mind is clear, you become more creative, more resourceful, and more open to new opportunities. You no longer react out of fear or stress. Instead, you respond with calm confidence and power. This shift allows you to see solutions where others might only see obstacles. This is where Stoic wisdom really shines through. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Think about that for a moment. Your happiness isn't dictated by your circumstances. It's dictated by how you interpret them. When you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your perception. And when you control your perception, you control your experience of life. The quality of your thoughts lays the foundation for everything else. If your mind is filled with negativity, doubt, or worry, it's going to be much harder to manifest success or experience peace. But when your thoughts are grounded in clarity, optimism, and focus, you'll find yourself naturally moving toward the life you desire with far less effort. Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Rachel, had always struggled with stress. She was constantly racing against the clock, overwhelmed by work, and filled with anxiety about the future. One day she decided she had had enough. Instead of letting stress rule her life, she made the conscious decision to focus on mastering her mindset. She began practicing mindfulness, taking time each day to quiet her mind and reframe her thoughts. Rather than worrying about everything that could go wrong, she started focusing on what she could control: her actions, her responses, and her attitude. Over time, her stress began to diminish. Opportunities that once seemed impossible started appearing, and she began to see challenges as opportunities to grow, not obstacles to avoid. So how can you start mastering your mindset? 1. Become aware of your thoughts. Start paying attention to what's running through your mind. Are you thinking positively, or are you fueling yourself with negativity? 2. Reframe your thinking. Instead of thinking, "This is too hard," try shifting your mindset to, "This is a challenge I can and will overcome." 3. Stay grounded in the present. Focus on what you can control in the here and now. When you do this, the future feels much less overwhelming and more manageable. At the end of the day, a calm, focused mind is your greatest asset. When you master your thoughts, you begin to master your life. So take control of your mindset, and you'll find that solutions, opportunities, and peace will naturally flow to you. Your reality is shaped by the quality of your thoughts, so choose them wisely. If you found this valuable, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more powerful insights. Stay tuned for more. Number 3, trust in divine timing. Let's continue from where we left off, focusing on the importance of letting go and trusting the process. Now, let's talk about one of the most essential principles in life: trusting in divine timing. In a world where everything is fast-paced, it's easy to feel the pressure to hurry. We push, we hurry, we try to force things to happen, especially when we want something badly. But here's the truth: rushing leads to mistakes. When we rush, we often miss the lessons, overlook crucial details, and sometimes even bypass the very opportunities that could help us grow. It's in the stillness, in the moments of waiting, that the most profound changes occur. When you trust in the process, you give life the space it needs to unfold at the right time. Here's the reality: everything will happen when it's meant to, if you remain patient. The challenge is that most of us are conditioned to expect instant results. We live in a world where everything is fast. Fast food, fast information, and instant gratification. But some things, the truly important things, cannot be rushed. They need time to develop, grow, and mature. Think about planting a seed. If you try to rush the process, you risk damaging the potential for it to bloom. But if you trust in the timing of nature, in the divine order of things, you'll see how beautifully everything comes together when it's meant to. This is where Stoic wisdom can guide us. Epictetus once said, "No great thing is created suddenly." This quote is a powerful reminder. The things that are truly worth having, whether it's success, wisdom, relationships, or personal growth, don't happen overnight. They require patience, persistence, and trust. You don't need to rush or force anything. Just keep doing the right things, keep showing up, and trust that the right opportunities will come at the right time. The universe has its own way of working things out when you stop trying to control everything. Let me share a story to illustrate this. A friend of mine, let's call her Sophie, was obsessed with achieving success in her career. She worked tirelessly, pushing herself harder and harder, trying to make things happen on her own terms. But the more she rushed, the more frustrated she became. Every door seemed to close, and she felt like she wasn't making any progress. One day, she decided to take a step back. She stopped forcing things and began focusing on her own growth. improving her skills, building her network, and trusting that everything would unfold when the time was right. Over time, opportunities began to appear naturally. What once seemed forced now flowed effortlessly into her life. Sophie realized that by letting go of the need to rush, she had opened herself up to the right timing. So, how do you trust in divine timing in your own life? 1. Let go of the need for control. Stop trying to force things when they're not ready. 2. Focus on your growth, not the outcome. Invest in yourself and trust that the right opportunities will present themselves when you're truly ready. 3. Be patient. Understand that everything has its own time, and rushing only leads to frustration and burnout. At the end of the day, trusting in divine timing is an act of faith. When you let go and allow life to unfold naturally, you create space for the right things to come to you. Don't rush the process. Trust that everything will happen when it's meant to. Now that we've explored the power of divine timing, let's take a deeper look at how we can start cultivating trust in ourselves and the universe. Stay tuned for more insights on how to let go and allow life to unfold in the most fulfilling way. Number 4, act with purpose, not desperation. Let's continue from where we left off, diving into another key principle that can make all the difference. Acting with purpose, not desperation. It's easy to feel rushed, especially when you think time is running out or that success is just out of reach. In those moments, the temptation to act out of desperation can feel overwhelming. You push, you chase, you scramble but here's the truth. Desperation repels success. When you act from fear or urgency, all you attract is more of the same: frustration, confusion, and missed opportunities. True success comes when you act with calm, consistent purpose, not from frantic energy or impatience. Success doesn't arrive through force, it comes from steady movement in the right direction. When you know exactly where you're going and take purposeful steps toward your goal, success will follow naturally. It's not about rushing or trying to outpace others, it's about moving with clarity, confidence, and intention. When you act with clear purpose, you magnetize success, and others can feel that calm confidence. Desperation, on the other hand, always leaves a mark. People can sense when you're just trying to get ahead quickly, and it doesn't inspire trust or attraction. It's like chasing a butterfly. When you stop running after it, it may land right in your lap. This is where Stoic wisdom becomes so powerful. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This is the essence of purposeful action. It's about knowing who you want to become, your vision, your values, your purpose, and then taking actions that align with that vision. When you align your actions with your inner purpose, your steps become more confident and focused. You no longer feel the need to act from desperation, but from a deep place of alignment and belief in yourself. Let me share a story to illustrate this. A man I know, let's call him Jack, was struggling in his career. He was working tirelessly, pushing hard, trying to get noticed, chasing opportunities left and right. But no matter how much effort he put in, he wasn't seeing the results he desired. One day, he had an epiphany. He realized he had been acting from a place of desperation. He was so focused on getting ahead that he wasn't connecting with the deeper purpose behind his actions. Once Jack took a step back, he began acting with more purpose. He got clear on what he truly wanted, defined his goals based on his values, and started taking consistent, thoughtful steps. Over time, opportunities started to appear, and they felt in alignment with who he was becoming, not just with what he was chasing. So, how do you begin acting with purpose instead of desperation? 1. Get clear on who you want to be. Take the time to define your values, your vision, and your purpose. 2. Trust the process. Focus on taking one step at a time, knowing that each action brings you closer to your goal. 3. Move with quiet confidence. Let go of the need to rush and trust that success will come when your actions align with your purpose. At the end of the day, purposeful action is the key to long-term success. When you act with calm, steady intention, you create the space for success to flow naturally to you. Move with purpose, not desperation, and watch as everything starts to align in your favor. If you've made it this far in the video, don't forget to leave a comment with a thank you and give it a like if you enjoyed the content. Your support means a lot to me and motivates me to keep creating more valuable videos. I hope you find inspiration in them, and I look forward to learning and growing with you. Thank you for your continued support. Number 5, let go of control. Let's continue from where we left off, exploring another powerful concept, letting go of control. In a world where we're constantly striving to control every outcome, every situation, and every person around us, it's easy to fall into a cycle of worry. We worry about the things we can't change, obsess over potential problems, and stress about what's beyond our control. But here's the truth. Worrying over what you can't control is nothing more than wasted energy. You can't control other people's actions, the future, or even the weather. What you can control, however, is yourself, your actions, your mindset, and your response to the world around you. Here's the reality. When you focus on mastering yourself, you free yourself from the burden of trying to control everything else. The more you try to control the uncontrollable, the more stressed and overwhelmed you become. But when you shift your focus to your own growth, your responses, and your peace of mind, everything else begins to fall into place. You stop wasting precious energy on things that don't matter, and instead, you begin to live with more clarity, calm, and purpose. Instead of spinning in circles, desperately trying to control the uncontrollable, you move forward with intention, knowing that your power lies in how you respond, not in how the world behaves around you. This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Epictetus once said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Think about that for a moment. True freedom doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from releasing the need to control it. When you stop worrying about what you can't change, you create the space to fully engage with what you can influence. You stop reacting out of fear and begin responding with calm, wisdom, and focus. The more you let go, the more you open yourself to the flow of life. Let me share a story to illustrate this. A woman I know, let's call her Anna, was constantly anxious about the future. She worried about things that were out of her control, like how others would perceive her or what might happen in her career. The more she worried, the more paralyzed she became, and the less progress she made. One day, she made a decision to change her mindset. Instead of trying to control every outcome, she focused on mastering her reactions and taking control of her daily actions. She began practicing presence, being intentional with her choices, and letting go of the need to micromanage every aspect of her life. Slowly but surely, Anna began to feel a sense of peace. Opportunities that once seemed elusive started coming her way effortlessly, and she realized that when she let go of the need to control everything, life flowed in ways she never expected. So how can you let go of control in your own life? 1. Focus on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and reactions. 2. Release the need to have everything go according to plan. Trust that what's meant for you will unfold naturally in its own time. 3. Embrace the unknown. Understand that life is unpredictable, and that's perfectly okay. At the end of the day, true freedom comes from releasing the need to control everything around you. When you focus on mastering yourself, you open yourself to peace, growth, and the natural flow of life. Let go of control, and you'll see just how much lighter and more fulfilling life can feel. Now that we've explored the power of letting go, let's look at how embracing uncertainty can create space for true growth and transformation. Stay with me as we dive deeper into the next step. Number 6, embody the energy of abundance. Let's continue from where we left off, diving into a powerful shift that can completely transform your life, embodying the energy of abundance. Often we find ourselves constantly chasing after what we think we lack: more money, more success, more recognition. But here's the truth. Instead of chasing what you feel is missing, live as though you already have it. When you embody the energy of abundance, you stop focusing on what's lacking and start noticing all that you already have. This simple mindset shift transforms your perspective and opens you up to new opportunities. Here's the reality. Living as if you already have everything you desire completely shifts your entire reality. When you believe you already possess the abundance you're seeking, you begin to act in alignment with that belief. You become more confident, more focused, and more receptive to the opportunities that come your way. Rather than waiting for something external to change before you feel abundant, you tap into the internal energy of abundance. And this inner wealth attracts even more of what you desire because you're no longer coming from a place of scarcity or lack. This is where Stoic wisdom truly shines. Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." Think about that for a moment. True wealth isn't about accumulating material things. It's about realizing how little you actually need. When you cultivate an attitude of abundance, you recognize that you already have everything you need to create the life you desire. Shifting from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance frees you from the constant chase. It allows you to appreciate what you already have and trust that more will always come when the time is right. Let me share a story to illustrate this. A man I know, let's call him James, was always striving for more. He believed that once he achieved a specific goal, like reaching a certain level of success or accumulating a certain amount of money, he would finally feel complete. But the more he chased, the further fulfillment seemed to get. One day, he decided to stop. He chose to live as if he already had everything he needed. He began practicing gratitude for what he already had: his health, his relationships, his skills. Slowly, he started to realize something powerful. The more he embraced the energy of abundance, the more opportunities flowed to him. He began attracting the very things he'd been chasing, but this time without the desperation or anxiety. The moment he embodied abundance, the universe started to mirror that energy back to him. So how can you embody the energy of abundance in your life? 1. Practice gratitude. Focus on what you already have rather than what you feel you lack. 2. Let go of attachment to outcomes. Trust that what's meant for you will come and act as though it's already yours. 3. Shift your mindset. Start living with the belief that you are already abundant and watch how your reality starts to reflect that belief. At the end of the day, true abundance comes from within. When you stop chasing what you think you lack and start living from a place of already having it, you shift your energy and attract everything you desire. Embody the energy of abundance and watch as your life transforms. Now that we've discussed the power of abundance, let's explore how to continue attracting more by cultivating a mindset that supports lasting success. Stay tuned. Number 7. Take aligned action and let go. Let's pick up from where we left off, discussing the importance of trusting the process and letting go. Now, let's dive into one of the most powerful ways to move forward in life, taking aligned action and then letting go. Too often, we fall into the trap of doing everything we can to force results. We push, stress, and try to control the outcome, believing that if we work harder or worry more, things will happen faster. But here's the truth. Do the work, then release the need for immediate results. The more you focus on forcing things to happen, the more resistance you create. True success comes from taking purposeful action, then letting go of the attachment to how or when the results will show up. Here's the reality. What's meant for you will come naturally when you release the need to control the timing. When you align your actions with your purpose, you're already moving in the right direction. The key is to stay consistent, trust the process, and be patient. The results you're hoping for will come in their own time, and sometimes they'll come in ways you never expected. The universe doesn't operate on your timeline. It follows its own rhythm. The more you let go of the need to control every detail, the more smoothly things will flow in your life. This is where Stoic wisdom truly shines. Seneca once said, "Effort and patience will achieve more than force and anxiety." Think about that for a moment. The Stoics knew that effort without anxiety, patience without desperation, would lead to greater peace and better results. When you're constantly pushing, stressing, and worrying, you're only creating mental clutter that blocks your progress. But when you let go of anxiety and trust the process, the results will come naturally, and you'll find that success isn't as far away as you thought. Let me share a story to illustrate this. A woman I know, let's call her Grace, was struggling to grow her business. She was working long hours, chasing every opportunity, and constantly worrying about her success. The harder she worked, the more stressed she became, and the less she saw the results she wanted. One day, a mentor gave her a simple yet profound piece of advice. Take the aligned action you know is right, then let go of the outcome. Trust that what's meant for you will come. Grace began focusing on doing the work with intention, and she stopped worrying about when things would change. Within a few months, opportunities started to fall into place. Things began to flow naturally, and she realized that the key was not in forcing the results, but in trusting the process. So how do you take aligned action and let go of the outcome? 1. Focus on what you can control. Take actions that align with your values and trust that the rest will fall into place. 2. Practice patience. Understand that results take time. The right outcomes will come when they're meant to. 3. Release the need to control everything. Let go of the outcome and trust that what's meant for you is already on its way. At the end of the day, effort and patience will always yield better results than force and anxiety. Take aligned action, let go of the rest, and watch as everything unfolds naturally. Success will come when you stop chasing it and simply trust the process. If you found this valuable, please hit like, share, and subscribe for more powerful insights. Your support means a lot and keeps me motivated to create more content like this. Thank you for being part of this journey.